Welcome back to Dreams of the Nameless, where we are being walled in to this dystopian moment. In the continuing border wall saga, the Trump administration is desperately trying to stomp on any and all impediments, including the court orders and the wall. As we've seen in the U.S., Congress investigations recently, Trump officials are just outright ignoring legal subpoenas and requests. And so this doesn't really come as unexpected behavior. In this case here with the wall, the courts have temporarily placed a hold on the border wall construction over some concerns that it's interfering with nearby private land use. There were a couple of organizations that came forward and brought suit. So according to Politico, quote, the Justice Department attorneys said the preliminary injunction issued last month by a federal judge in Oakland threatens to derail the construction by delaying the projects past the end of the fiscal year in September. So they're asking the courts to give this emergency approval to proceed with the wall anyway. Their fear is that if they can't just really hurry up and build the wall, there's not going to be the money available at the end of the year, and then they won't have the wall. So despite the fact that the court is saying, don't build the wall, we need to decide whose rights, supersede the others, they're just saying, nah, I'm going to build the wall anyway. It's cool. I'm going to build the wall, and then we can decide if it was bad. I think that's pretty fucked up. Or am I reading this wrong? Like, what's your interpretation of that?
The continuing saga of Trump trying to... We talked before about how he went from the lie of the wall being paid for by Mexico all the way to where he just started saying it was being built, and it just wasn't. And he's been pretty dishonest about where he wants to take money from. And we reported the other day that some of the places he's trying to take the money from is like pension funds and other.
And the judge in this case, they mentioned in this article, and I couldn't really find any more information, but the judge had said that he granted this temporary stay to the construction and so on because it wasn't tied to, quote, an unforeseen emergency. And so it makes me believe that whatever funds were at stake here were related to, like, they were intended to be for some sort of emergency thing. But like, I couldn't find info on that. And it was frustrating because if that's the case, then he's outright just stealing money that he shouldn't be even able to touch. And I just don't understand how that works.
His whole plan is to undermine the norms and the institutions. And I'm blanking on the guy's name. The book is called How Democracies Die. I believe the guy's name is Stephen something or other. But that and Timothy Snyder. So the point that I want to make is that he's consistently assaulting the guardrail institutions of the Republic. And what he's doing now with this trying to pay for the wall is to effectively try and start normalizing the skirting of the Congress's power of the purse. He's, to my knowledge, presidents have not in recent memory tried to go around Congress to fund massive, heavily politicized, massive works projects. The part of this that bothers me is mostly that he was effectively defeated in the standard way that you would be defeated. He wanted to do something. Congress has the power of the purse, and they said no. And this is another instance where he's acting like a tyrant and saying, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to find a bad faith, back alley methodology to make your power of the purse meaningless and exert my control over the situation.
Yeah, and I think it's all in keeping with the things he's already been doing. Unfortunately, it's not surprising to see him, just like stealing this money, being corrupt, lying, cheating, stealing. It's all the same sort of theme or flavor. And so I guess for me, that brings me to the next question here that I was reading, just skimming through my notes. In the face of such an obviously corrupt administration, do private citizens really have any recourse? Is there any way we can fight that? Like, how do you genuinely hope to end that type of corruption when they're just going to say, oh yeah, we understand you want this to stop, and we'll see you in court, but we're going to build the wall anyway. Like, what hope do you have? Like, how does that work? Where do we go from there?
There's only the election.
Yeah.
I mean, as it stands now, if we assume that we're going to have a fair election in 2020, the only hope is to vote him out and maintain the, Democratic control of the Congress and hopefully take the Senate.
Yeah. And so, one last thought here. I did want to note, and our first ever video, it was the first ever video on YouTube. I should be careful there. We talked about the wall and much greater detail, and as well as Robert Frost's poem, The Wall. I said then, and I maintain now, that if they want to pay for it and they want to build it on their private land, go for it. And they're doing that. There's a group currently, was in the news recently. They're building a wall on their private land. So go you, I guess. But in the meantime, like, I'm not gonna just get steamrolled by the theft and the lying and the evil of this administration just stomping all over anything and everything it can until it gets its way.